Welcome to the CAA and One. I'm Amanda Poole, joined by CAA women's basketball insider Monika Moore. Monika, how are you doing?
Doing great, surviving the snow. Excited to talk about some basketball.
Yeah, despite the severe weather, we still got to see some good hoops last week. We'll dive into some of the top headlines from women's hoops last week, starting with the Dragons. Drexel, big wins over Towson and Stony Brook last weekend, moving to 4-3 in conference play, winning three straight now. They took down Stony Brook 49-41, then defeated Towson 68-45. Deja Evans earning CAA Player of the Week honors after putting up 23 points and pulling down 14 rebounds over the weekend. Drexel seemingly turning a corner, Monica.
Yeah, I thought that Drexel showed a lot of composure this week. They really impressed me with their resilience against a very good Stony Brook team and avenging a loss from a couple of weeks ago. I thought Stony Brook really pushed them in the second half of that game. The Seawolves outscored the Dragons, but the Dragons were able to hang on. And then Drexel had to turn around. They had less than 24 hours to prepare for Towson because of the impending snowstorm. And I thought they got a very convincing win over the Tigers. Amanda, you mentioned her, Deja Evans. This was a big week for Deja Evans. She almost had the double-double against Stony Brook, and those five big blocks I thought were critical against the Seawolves. She had double figures again against the Tigers, and I thought the defense was really good for Drexel. They held Towson to 26% shooting, but if I had to point to one thing that I think really paved the way this week, it was how well Drexel protected the basketball. They didn't turn the ball over too much in close games. That can be really important.
Moving on to William and Mary, some score-stopping defense helping the Tribe go 2-0 over the weekend. They snapped a four-game losing streak with wins over Northeastern and Hofstra, improving to 3-4 in the CAA. The Tribe defeated Northeastern 63-50 and then held Hofstra to 37 points in their win, the fewest allowed against a D1 opponent in 10 years. Offensively, though, Cassidy Geddes continues to shine, scoring a combined 42 points over those two games, plus chipped in 8 steals as well. Monica, what did you think of the Tribe's 2-0 weekend?
Look, it was a big week for William and Mary. It was two decisive wins, but it was two decisive wins on the road. William and Mary are our road warriors. They have 7 road wins. They lead the league. They are good away from home. And you mentioned it. I think their defense was on point this week, and that's what really paved the way for the Tribe. They forced 21 turnovers against the Huskies, and they turned a lot of those turnovers into offense for William and Mary. And against the Pride, they came up with 15 steals. Now, 15 steals, that's huge. But what stood out to me even more is they had 7 players with one or more steals. That tells me that every player on the floor is buying into that defensive mentality. Everyone is locked in together as a team. And when you force 7 turnovers in the first quarter, that tells me everyone's coming out of the gate ready to play basketball.
Looking at Elon, the Phoenix going 2-0 as well with wins over North Carolina A&T and Hampton to improve to 4-3 in conference action. They had a 67-60 win over the Aggies, and they won that one at the free throw line. Phoenix 25 of 26 at the charity stripe, and they got those fouls called, and they earned it at the charity stripe. And then a 79-53 win over Hampton, marking the largest margin of victory in 6 years for Elon. Monica, what are the Phoenix doing so well right now?
Well, first of all, those were two great team wins for the Phoenix. And I think that that's really important. So everyone is doing their job, everyone is contributing. But Layla Anderson in particular, I have to shout her out because I think she has been so impressive over the past few games. She's had double digits in the past 4 contests for Elon. She's earning herself a spot in the starting lineup as of late. I think she is really turning it up offensively, which is a great sign for Elon.
Let's look ahead because we've got some great matchups on the agenda this weekend, starting with our flow game of the week. Campbell at William and Mary tonight at 7. Campbell won the last matchup, a close one, 45-43 back in January 11th. I'm going to go with my game changer as Campbell's Sierra Alexander. She provides such a spark for this team off the bench. She was a difference maker in that last matchup between these two squads, scoring 7 points and grabbing 9 rebounds. If she can add that depth and balance that we know works really well and wins to Campbell again, she can change the game.
Well, I hear you, Amanda, about Cassidy Geddes. She's always a good pick, but I'm gonna actually go with William and Mary's Natalie Fox. And the reason why is because I love what we're seeing out of her in league play. She's averaging double digits, 10.4 points per game. She's the best rebounding presence for William and Mary. And if you look back at what she did in the earlier meeting against Campbell, 8 points, 8 rebounds, I think Natalie Fox could very well be the game changer.
And looking at our next matchup, Charleston at Elon. Charleston, the lone unbeaten in conference play, and they'll take on Elon, who we think are turning a corner here. That'll be tonight at 7. Monica, who are you watching?
I'm going to go with Taylor Barbeau. We've talked a lot about Taylor Barbeau, but what I love so much about her is her ability to absolutely stuff the stat sheet. You look at what she did against UNCW, 5 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, 4 steals. It's just what she does. She got her 100th career steal against UNCW. She never takes a play off. I just love to watch Taylor Barbeau play.
Yeah, and she's so hard to guard too when you can do all the things, right? Like that's hard to match up with. I'm gonna go with the rookie of the week, Ashanti Fox. The Elon freshman can help give Elon that edge in this matchup. Charleston got the better of them earlier this season when Layla Anderson put up 21 points. You talked about Layla Anderson. She can be a game changer, but her production wasn't enough. You need that balance, right? You need that game changer, which I think can be Fox. So using that, having multiple weapons, multiple threats, Fox can be that asset for Elon this weekend. And rounding out our matchups, we'll look at Monmouth at Stony Brook. That's 1 p.m. on Sunday if everything stays the same regarding weather. Monica, who are you watching?
Look, I think the safe bet is Monmouth's Gigi Gamble. She has been outstanding in league play. She's leading the league right now in conference play with 21.7 points per game. But if you don't follow Monmouth as closely as you and I do, you may not realize this, that in non-conference play, Gigi Gamble did not have any games where she was in double digits. In conference play, every single game has been in double digits. She has turned up the level of production so high for Monmouth. She is an absolute game changer.
Yeah, and with those numbers, we're gonna call her gamer Gamble because those are like video game numbers, right? She is doing everything. I love that. Looking at Stony Brook, though, I'm going with Sandra Frau Garcia. She's top 10 in the CAA in assist to turnover ratio, a kind of efficiency that the Seawolves will need to get back after racking up 23 turnovers in their loss against Drexel. I believe that was the difference in that game. So that ball control starts with Sandra. So I think her leadership in that part of the game will be a key for Stony Brook come Sunday. Well, that's a lot to look forward to this weekend. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and make sure to follow CAA basketball on social media and catch all the action live on Flow College this weekend. Well, for Monika Moore, I'm Amanda Poole. We'll see you next week.